It's true. This is it. This is their final. Their final.
There's our segue, because we are going to go from a lake of shit to an ocean full of turds. And I still am baffled by the amounts of 8s and 9s I have seen for not only this final episode, but the entire series. If you are a Star Wars fan and you believe in the canonical just stream that is this story, you should hate this series.
It should make you crazy.
It should make you want to punch somebody.
I want to give credit up front. You fixed the lightsaber duel. Good on you. You came out, you had a good lightsaber fight. It was satisfying. I enjoyed every moment of the lightsaber fight. You kept cutting away from the lightsaber fight, which was really annoying. And also, don't for a second think that this makes up for the last 5 episodes of terrible fight scenes. You got one good fight scene in 5 episodes, and the other 5, you still had fight scenes. They were just awful. And I get the concept of, like, you have to start here, so that here it's a bigger deal. No. Because we watched 1, 2, and 3. We know these movies. We know where Ewan McGregor's come from. We know Obi Wan Kenobi. Having him start all over is stupid.
So here's the thing with the fight scene. I admit it was an entertaining fight scene.
Yeah.
My problems with it. This whole series takes place in like a few days.
Yeah.
You go from Obi Wan not being able to move a rock.
Yeah.
To being the most powerful Jedi in the universe.
This is my point. Is that by setting it up over here, you've completely trashed
that's
everything.
What ruined that fight scene.
Yeah.
And as much as I loved the part where Vader's half his mask gets knocked off, I was waiting for him to do "I hate you," the scream he did at the end of Sith.
I was waiting for him to say, "I have the high ground."
I thought so too. That's exactly what I thought when Obi-Wan went in the hole. I thought he was going to say that, but it was like that fight going off of what they tell each other. What, maybe 9 years in the future?
Mm-hmm. Makes no sense.
They act like they have not seen each other.
Yeah.
In 20 years.
Yeah.
But here they're like having this to the death. This is two to the death duels they've had in this series.
And you got the line in that all of the fanboys are crying over today. You didn't kill me, Obi-Wan. I killed Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did it. Oh, you did it. You set up that line from A New Hope where Obi-Wan explains that Vader killed your father.
Yeah.
So it's not a lie anymore. Because
that was dumb.
I'm just like, even if that line works, which, credit, it's not a bad line. It's not a bad line.
It's not a bad line. But it's spoon-feeding member berries.
It's so... It's like, it's this one little buoy in this ocean of terrible... Because I got through that fight scene, and I was having a good time, and I was like, okay, I thought this was going to be bad. And that we're going to get to the bad, because there weren't 2 ships last week. There were 3 ships last week.
Yep.
And wouldn't you know it, one of them had a hyperdrive on it? Oh my gracious goodness. We'll get to it.
I can't wait to talk about that space fight. I cannot wait.
Worst aim in the universe.
Yeah.
The Empire... couldn't hit a barn with a barn.
Here's the thing. This is a craft. A Star Destroyer. This thing is...
It can't take down an escape pod!
Yeah. How many hits can that thing's shields take?
It's an escape pod!
And then they rehash the worst part of The Last Jedi, where it's like, oh, Obi-Wan's going away in a ship. Okay, how about... All right, Vader, you follow him. We're going to destroy these people that we want to blow up.
Yeah.
No, we got to turn everybody.
Everybody.
We can't send, like, some TIE fighters after them.
Nope. We're going to let them limp home.
The stupidest. I mean, it's Last Jedi. It's right there. That part of Last Jedi where they're having that slow chase. Mm-hmm. Where the Empire just, there's no way they could catch up to get that ship.
Or we could. We just don't feel like it.
This is exactly what this was.
Yeah.
It's like, so you're taking the worst thing, which is the prequels, and then you're taking the worst part of a movie that I despise, which is terrible, The Last Jedi, and you're putting them together in one episode.
Yeah. I don't understand how... let me check my math, because I might be wrong here. I'm pretty sure, though. The opening of Star Wars, the original Star Wars, it has a small blockade runner, and then it has the big Star Destroyer.
Yes.
And they come over the screen. Star Destroyer catches up to the blockade runner pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And that blockade runner was in good repair. This transport
And they
is
were
in shit repair.
trying to destroy that. They were trying to just incapacitate them. Where this one, they were literally trying to destroy them.
Yeah.
They were trying to blow the fucking ship up.
So why can't you catch them?
Yeah. And didn't at one point they had him use extra guns and they started firing more?
He said fire everything. Yeah. And so they fire everything and it makes no difference. Like no more bullets hit.
Like I seem to remember in Empire Strikes Back, the Millennium Falcon having to do all these fancy things to get away from it. Not this ship. It just has to stay straight.
Stay straight, baby. Just stay. They don't even need somebody at the wheel because their headman is trying to repair like 6 things.
And this was the beginning of the episode. And so right away, in my head, I'm like, they cannot help themselves but make shit. Right from the start.
Let me check my math here. Okay. Leia's 10?
10.
10. Obi Wan is the size of a normal human male.
Yes.
Okay. She could fit in that ship, right? That he takes off in?
Easily.
Why aren't we at Alderaan? What is going on? Like, it wasn't bad enough that you did the fake out last week, which was stupid. But now, there was a third ship this whole fucking time, and it has warp on it. This whole fucking time. So I understand you can't, there's too many people for everybody to get on the escape pod. No duh, shit. The entire thing here is getting Leia home. How are we accomplishing this so badly?
Yeah. And you know the main reason they're coming after you is, A, they do want to destroy you, but to get Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
So if he's off the ship and Vader realizes he's off the ship because he can feel in the Force, they wouldn't maybe continue?
Yeah.
But still,
especially since Head Inquisitor is like, we have a chance to shut down this thing right now, and Darth Vader's like, nah, son, left it is.
It is the worst writing. Like, this show is so poorly made, and I want to slap everyone that keeps giving it high ratings, and be like, you don't have to like it just because it's Star Wars.
No.
You have to be able to admit it's bad, and you still love Star Wars.
You can still like Star Wars. Here's the crazy thing that I have to fight with, okay? Star Wars is a big canon. It's a big canon. And I am renowned in my friend circles as a person who loves Star Wars. Mainly, I think, because I did my senior project on Star Wars. I haven't read the extended universe.
Yeah.
I've met bigger Star Wars fans than me.
Yeah.
I have to deal with the fact that of all the canon that we are just steeped in, we're buried like Obi-Wan was under rocks in canon. And of that, I think 5 pieces of it are good. And the more that comes out,
it's just,
worse that ratio gets.
It's shitting on it.
And it's getting hard now.
It's so bad.
Because now it's like, okay, so now you have the Holy Trilogy. Yay, Holy Trilogy. And we got to settle Ewoks out of court because we all got together, both sides of that argument got together and said, you know what we all hate? Jar Jar Binks.
Exactly. Best thing that ever happened to Ewoks.
Yeah, so Ewoks got off the schneid. Easy peasy. No problem. That used to be this deep rift between Generation 1 and Generation 2. It's gone. Gen 1, Gen 2, we're all one big team now, and we all hate Jar Jar Binks.
Yes.
So, Holy Trilogy, great. Prequels, remakes, not good. I don't like either of these things. Okay, so we have some bad stuff. We have some animated TV shows, okay, but the animation's really wonky, but you have to get past that if you can. It's supposed to be really good. I have a hard time getting past the mannequins. It's a group of mannequins talking with robot chicken mouths that open and close.
That is dead on.
So, like, I should watch it. I know I should watch it, but it doesn't help that it's also based on the prequels, and I just cosmically hate Anakin Skywalker because of the prequels. Not because he's Darth Vader and he killed a bunch of younglings. No, because he made me sit through the prequels, and this was what we got. This was what came out on the other side. So I already have to deal with this big steaming pile. I went to college and I had that big steaming pile following me around. And then Force Awakens comes out and it's like, a beacon. The beacons are lit. There's good Star Wars again. All right. Trash Star Wars, trash Star Wars. Decent Star Wars, trash Star Wars. So Rogue One being the decent one, everything else being trash.
Yes.
Okay, we can't do movies anymore. Movies are out. Now we have so many movies that are worse than good ones. Let's do TV. Mandalorian. Yeah, we got good canon again, baby. Good Star Wars is back. Oh, yeah. Awesome. Season 2 of Mandalorian. It's fucking great.
And then
Book of
Boba Fett.
And Book of Boba Fett. And then Obi Wan Kenobi. And you're pissing on all of my favorite things, dude. And I just... All
right, so we need to discuss what has to be the most unnecessary, horribly paid off main storyline that became a non-storyline. We're talking about Reva, third sister. What the hell happened with that whole storyline?
So I want to put it on record. I watched that fight scene, and they kept cutting away to Reva, and it was really pissing me off.
Yeah.
But I was really hoping. My secret hope was that Beru was going to get her. I wanted Aunt Beru to shoot her.
Yeah.
I thought that again, shout outs to things that worked. I liked Beru in this episode. I like the way that she stands up to Owen and says, "No, we're fighting. That's what's happening." I like that. Cool. Awesome. Much better than just serving blue milk. It's Aunt Beru. We get through the fight scene, and Wilson is giving me the high sign. So I take him outside, and I go to pause the episode. And there's 25 minutes left!
Yeah.
I'm enraged immediately because this is not okay. You front-loaded the only good part of this episode, and then the entire backload of this episode is going to be slogged.
And once again, because the writing is so bad, and since this takes place when it takes place, there was zero drama of what was going to happen to Luke, Owen, and Beru.
Luke is going to get away.
You know the three of them are going to survive.
Nothing's going to happen.
No.
Nothing's going to happen.
And how is she walking around? Yeah. How did she get away from Vader? He stabs her through the stomach, and he's standing over her. Next thing you know, she's on Tatooine. It's like, how did she get away? How is she walking?
They did a Strange New Worlds cutaway. She's just on Tatooine now.
Oh my god.
But they did it double. Because she's on Tatooine, and she goes up to this farm stand where they're selling water, which is, I actually like this because this is a concept that's been talked about in Star Wars and we haven't actually seen it. A moisture farmer. Cool. I like this. I like this a lot. I'm glad we get to see it. That's awesome. She's like, I need to know about a farmer named Owen, which I'm thinking back. I don't remember if Jimmy Smits actually mentioned that his name was Owen. I think he just said he was going to go check on the boy on Tatooine.
Yeah.
But, let's say that the magic communique of information has given all information.
Because she meets him in the beginning, the first episode, and he says his name's Owen, but how would she know?
How would she know that he's the one that has the boy? The farmer that tells her about Owen, we don't know what he tells her.
Yes.
He could have sent her away. We don't know, because we're not told. All that we know is that he meets up with Owen and Luke, and they do another cutaway, and then Owen and Luke are on the run back to the homestead to set up for the fight because Reva's coming. And then Reva doesn't come until after sundown. And I'm just sitting here trying really hard to understand anything that's happening here.
Well, and think about A New Hope. Luke mentions, well, first when he first sees the lightsaber that Obi Wan gives him, it's obviously the first time he's seen a lightsaber.
Yeah.
And then he mentions that nothing ever happens.
Yeah.
You forget about 9 years ago, or 8 years ago.
When you were almost kidnapped.
When you were almost killed by a Jedi with a lightsaber.
Who was chasing you while you ran.
Yeah.
Through the same hills that Obi-Wan saved you from.
Yes.
In the original.
Yes.
Don't think I didn't notice. I noticed.
Like how... There are two things, and I'm getting into this now. This is my two biggest parts with this whole series.
Yeah.
That right there counteracts everything Luke said in the beginning of A New Hope. 100%.
Yeah.
Every way he acted, everything about it. We're agreeing this is like 8 years before A New Hope.
Like
8 years is not...
10, yeah.
I remember everything that happened 9 years
no,
ago.
You're right. It is 8 because Luke is only 18.
He's only 18. 8 years.
Yeah.
When Obi Wan Kenobi dies in A New Hope, Leia acts
doesn't
like
care at all.
It is nothing.
Apparently,
where at the end of this show, Ben Kenobi to her is like
a good friend,
a loving friend, a good friend, somebody she truly cares
saved
about.
Saved her life on numerous occasions.
Went on this adventure.
Role model extraordinaire. None of these things.
Horrible.
We know where she got her holster now, so that's cool. Right?
And that's another thing.
That made you happy, right? That made you happy, right? You know where she got her holster? The holster that I don't think we've ever had a close-up of. Ever.
Never.
Ever. So why would we care?
And that holster fits a child.
Yeah. There were, oh god. So that whole thing where he goes back to Alderaan, we don't. First off, we don't see her actually get delivered back to Alderaan.
No, she's just there.
Does Camille Nanjiani like collect the entire reward for getting
You
her
would
back?
assume he does, because Obi-Wan wouldn't take any money.
So fine. I guess the fact that we've been doing this the whole season doesn't matter. We won't show it. Cool. Okay, fine. You want to cut away? Fine. So Obi-Wan comes to Alderaan because he hasn't seen Leia since he ditched. And he lands, and they're like, oh, who is this? We got more cousins. We got to talk. No, it's Obi-Wan. Oh, yeah, it's Obi-Wan. We're going to have a conversation. And then we're going to have a hushed conversation with Bail Organa. It's going to be very serious, but it all worked out. Don't mind me. I almost ruined everything. I almost threw off this entire plot line, and I nearly killed off the entire Star Wars franchise in one move that was completely unnecessary and never paid off. But hey, it's okay because it didn't happen.
Yeah.
And then Obi-Wan is like, we have to pretend that we don't know each other really well, because it could be dangerous if people found out that we know each other. Apparently, translation is, Leia is the greatest actress of all time because she doesn't show shit to Obi-Wan.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
It's almost like...
She's never met him.
It's almost like by changing... God, has it been 50 years of canon? By changing 50 years of canon, you've suddenly undone the basic concepts of one of the only good movies that's left. And baby, this one's in traction because Lucas went at it with a knife, and he went at it hard back in 97.
Yeah.
And so it's still in recovery, okay? The scars are still there. And now you're doing this. And I don't care how many hello there's you give me. It's not enough for this.
Yeah.
This is garbage. This is endlessly frustrating. This is the thing where, like, every time one good thing happens, 5 stupid, inexcusable, totally inexcusable things happen. We get our Liam Neeson's dog. Liam Neeson shows up.
That was the most telegraphed memberberry. Gratuitous memberberry I've ever seen.
I'm so frustrated because, again, we had 50 years of canon. No, you know what? I won't swing for the knees.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll swing a little higher. We had, let's see, Revenge of the Sith was like 07. So we had roughly, once George finished his masterpiece, we had like 18 years in canon, but like in society we had like 15, right? Like 15 years. And, you know, during that whole time, I kind of thought Obi-Wan was still a Jedi.
Yeah.
The whole time. I didn't realize that for 10 of the 18 years, he had completely abandoned all of his teachings, severed himself from the Force, and needed an adventure with Princess Leia to get it back. Kudos, because that makes the story better. We were talking about Faramir Law. How does this make the story better?
This absolutely does not.
This doesn't make the story better at all. This makes the story worse because now, again, I understand you want to set up expectations and then crush them by making like a terrible fight scene and then a great fight scene. I think it's the wrong idea because it's stupid. The expectation was for Obi-Wan to be a good fighter in the first place. So why does subverting that expectation make the last fight scene better? It doesn't. It theoretically does, but in actuality it doesn't. It just, finally we get to the point where we're like, oh, he's finally a Jedi again, finally. And I really honestly thought he was always connected to the Force and had been training with Qui-Gon this whole time. And I said this after the first episodes, and I'm going to say it again. Yoda says, I have new training for you. And I get it. He's racked with guilt. He thinks that he has brought the Empire down upon the entire universe and that he created Darth Vader, and that's why the relief at the end is Anakin saying that I killed myself or whatever. I get it. Oh, trust me. I get it. This isn't a mystery, okay? This isn't even a Rubik's Cube. This is like a present. Like you open it and you're like, oh, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's Obi-Wan feeling guilty about shit. And he has to be told by like 5 people that it's not his fault, including Anakin Skywalker. And I guess that's the reason he severed his connection to the Force. I really thought that wanting to protect Luke and connecting to Qui-Gon would really motivate him to kind of get past the guilt. And I definitely didn't think he would be stewing in guilt for 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that ending gave me the idea, and I part of me knows it's not going to happen, but a little part of me thinks they might still do it. Is re-edit Jedi and put Qui-Gon's Force Ghost at the end.
I'm surprised they haven't done it yet.
I'm wondering if they waited until the series is done and now they're going to go at him. Because it would make sense. Like, his Force Ghost should be, Luke should have known about Qui-Gon Jinn. He should have been told by...
Let's go all in. We're going to have a bifurcated Obi Wan.
Yes.
So half Alec Guinness, half Ewan McGregor,
Yep.
right down the middle. Puppet Yoda.
Yep.
CGI Yoda.
Yep.
Actual Anakin Skywalker. Hayden Christensen Anakin Skywalker. Mace Windu.
Yep.
Qui-Gon Jinn. Kit Fisto. We're just going to have them all.
It's going to end up being like an Adam Sandler movie where Abraham Lincoln is standing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like, I just leave the poor thing alone. Leave it alone.
What I want somebody to do, I desperately want a Star Wars fan who loves this show to listen to these podcasts we have made, come on our show, and try to defend everything we've pointed out is a massive problem. It is impossible.
And not only that, I'm going to put a moratorium on nostalgia. I'll put a moratorium on nostalgia for my Holy Trilogy. I will set aside all my nostalgia for the Holy Trilogy. You know why? Because those movies are so fucking good. Even though Return of the Jedi is a little bit of a mess and it's a bifurcated movie and it's really just two parts and it goes off in all these different directions and Luke is a completely different person in it than he was in any of the other movies. There's a million things.
Yes.
The original and Empire are still so timelessly perfect.
Yes.
And they reinvented filmmaking. And they reinvented
Which
storytelling.
I found out something I did not know about. The level of credit that needs to go to George Lucas's wife. Mm-hmm. I heard an interview, and I can't remember who it was with, and he said that they made a documentary, or they should make a documentary about her because he knows a lot of people in the industry. And supposedly the first cut of A New Hope was so unwatchable that she took control of it and helped edit it into what it is.
She did edit I do remember hearing that she re-edited it.
Like, there's the part when you first see Han in the bar, supposedly there was like a woman with him that like walks away and he like ogles her. And it's like horrible humor and like trashy stuff. And it's so you look at it and you're like, I don't know why people continue to give George Lucas all this credit, because in reality, the first movie was saved by a lot of people, including the people that did the special effects. Because he's even admitted the story and the dialogue is dumb.
And not only that, if you had this story and dialogue with effects like Logan's Run, which only came out like a year before Star Wars, it would not have worked. No. It is because of the effects and the storytelling.
Yes. Hand
in hand, equal parts, but make no mistake, if you stripped out the effects from Star Wars, I mean, granted, the remakes, the low-budget remakes of Star Wars are great. I do love those. But they are still attempting to do these effects in an organic way. If you had a studio-level bad version of it, where Chewie still looked like a swamp monster, I don't know.
Because in reality also, if you look at the movie that truly made Star Wars iconic is Empire Strikes Back, which he came up with the story. But he didn't write it. He didn't direct it.
Nope.
And the things he's done after that were he came up with the story for Jedi, which a lot of people say, the story's not the best.
It's not the best.
It has some good parts of it, but in reality, like you said, it's kind of all over the place.
If I remove the nostalgia quotient from that movie, it goes from like an 8.5 to like a 5.
And then he has the prequels, which are horrendous, and he is 100% on. And those are
all him.
Yes, 100% him.
Those are so him that is George Lucas's prequels were the predecessor to the Trump presidency.
Yes.
Because it was one guy's vision and a bunch of people that couldn't say no to him.
Yep.
And if any one of them had just said no, but the fact that no one said no, the entire thing goes up in flames.
And I want to preface everyone listening to this. This is an analogy that I think works with Star Wars. I saw an interview once with a very heavy fundamentalist Christian.
Okay.
And they were asked, is there anything that can ever be shown to you to make you not believe in God? Even if there's like incontrovertible proof that a supreme being doesn't exist, they said, no, there is nothing that you can say or show me, no matter what I learn, that can not make me believe in God.
Yeah.
Star Wars fans are like that.
A lot of them are.
There's nothing you can do to make me say it's bad.
There's two types of Star Wars fans. The people who apologize for everything.
Yes.
And will accept anything as Star Wars and will buy a million lightsabers and all these other things. And the people who are angry and embittered about the whole thing.
Yes.
And are considered trolls online because they don't like it. And I'm not saying that anybody who didn't like it is a troll, and I'm not saying that anybody who trolled online about it isn't a troll. I'm saying that notoriously Last Jedi, you know, not one of those movies that everybody agreed on. Not one of those salient movies that everybody stood there and said, this is really good. That's just Star Wars now. Is just you either are frustrated and just waiting for something good, or you accept that everything is going to be pretty trash, and so you like everything.
Yeah.
And you lower your standards to the point where Obi Wan saying hello there to Luke Skywalker is enough for you to be like, yay, I like it.
It's like you got to admit when things are bad. Like when I hear people who I know are intelligent movie fans, like we mentioned a certain YouTube personality, which I'm not
going to
I
name
love the
him.
guy, so I'm
I
not
like
gonna
him
say
too much to say anything else.
When you are somebody who criticizes films for a living and is very knowledgeable in the proper making and in every aspect of a film.
Intelligent.
Yes.
Remarkable, well-spoken.
For you to give the prequels or this show any credence, because the prequels, regardless of the story, which is nonsensical, are so poorly made.
They're so bad.
In every way. And this is truly just an offshoot of the prequels, because it is as poorly made in every aspect as those movies were.
Except it didn't have the digital budget to make Anakin look like he might actually be 15.
Yeah.
Possibly could be 15.
Yeah.
No, we're going to go with 45.
Or the actual size of David Probst, which he's like...
Would have also been great.
Like a foot shorter, and it just looks stupid.
Would have been nice. We have the technology to remake James Earl Jones' voice, though, when we could hire voice actors to do that work for us. But no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
So I'm done beating this anteater horse to death. I do not have a warm fuzzy, and I don't have a lot of hope for The Mandalorian Season 3, Andor, and Osaka after this.
I'm going to hold out hope that Mando Season 3 is good, because the best parts of Book of Boba Fett were the Mando parts.
Yes.
So there's
but
in my mind, there's hope. There's the faint possibility
this was so bad
that Mando could be good, but I'm looking at Andor, and I'm looking at Ahsoka. I'm looking at
especially
Andor.
Knowing that Darth Vader and Hayden Christensen is going to be in Ahsoka.
Yeah,
it's like
I'm looking at both these, and I have deep, serious concerns about what we're doing and what your projections are here.
Because like here's the thing. I'm assuming in Ahsoka they're going to have flashbacks of Anakin training her.
Yeah.
And you're going to be able to put a younger girl as Ahsoka.
Yeah.
But you're going to have Hayden Christensen as Anakin.
Yeah.
Are they going to digitally un-age him? Or are they going to have him look like a fucking 40-year-old again?
I don't know.
That's the main question for me. It's like,
I'll give you 20.
What are you going to do?
Just make him look like he's 20. Hell, I'll be generous. 25.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense within the canon. Who fucking cares? 25.
Find a way.
You're going to give me anything on
Find
this?
a way.
Like, anything? Going back to the prequels, the one thing that I always come back to is that at the end of the day, even if you take into account the way that it completely changed digital filmmaking,
yes,
and even if you take into account the way that it didn't really do anything else. That's really it. Those are the high marks of the prequels, is that it upgraded and changed digital filmmaking.
But that's the funny part, is they made such a big deal of how it changed and made digital filmmaking a thing, to the point that when they made Force Awakens, they made a big deal about having practical
Going
effects.
back to practical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, did it
really
really do
work?
something good?
No, it really didn't work. And that at the end of the day, if I were to have somebody come up to me, and this isn't a fair fight, but I'm going to put it down anyway.
Okay.
Let's take the second movies. Mine is going to trounce Attack of the Clones. Because Empire is on its own a really good movie.
Yes.
In terms of its writing, in terms of its characters, in terms of its interactions, in terms of its editing, in terms of its music, in terms of its style, in terms of its cinematography, in terms of everything about the movie is great. None of those things are true about Attack of the Clones.
Not even close.
And even if we took the best of them, which is Return of the Sith, which is the best of these three.
And it's still terrible.
That means nothing.
Yeah.
It means nothing. It's the best of these three.
The only good thing about those three is that one line. I have the high ground.
That's the high ground.
Only thing that I love. And it's a bad line, but it's awesomely bad.
I'm glad it's over. I fear that there's going to be a season 2. I really wanted Third Sister to die. Really,
she might have. Who knows? Who knows?
No, because she's redeemed now.
Which blows my mind. She's trying to kill Luke Skywalker. She's trying to kill his aunt and uncle. And she just decides not to. And all of a sudden, every negative thing she's done, she's completely redeemed.
Yeah, she's just like, I can't do it. And it's like, what?
That was so dumb.
First off, I know we were trying to close out, but I gotta talk about it.
Oh my god, talk about it.
So first off, why is Third Sister even doing this? Because her arc, according to last episode, was that she wanted to get close to Darth Vader so she could kill him, which she failed tremendously at. Also, I think you might have set up this plan a little too early, my friend Third Sister, because you are in no way ready to fight Darth Vader. And you catalyzed this situation so that you could fight Darth Vader by your own logic, by the logic that Obi Wan shows us. You catalyzed the situation so you could fight Darth Vader, and you get your ass handed to you. And so your response to getting your ass handed to you is to go to a planet where there's a boy who may or may not have something to do with Obi Wan. I don't think that they say that he's Anakin's son.
No.
So she can't possibly be like, it's Darth Vader's son. I'm going to go get him. I don't understand.
And even that, you're going to kill the son he doesn't know exists?
I don't understand any of the motivations here.
It's nuts.
It makes me crazy that I had to watch it, and then she doesn't die. But you know what she does do? She leaves her lightsaber right outside the Lars homestead, baby. Drops it in the sand. We never see what happens to it. Is it still there? Does Luke find it and cut open someone? Maybe. Who the fuck knows? But it's one of those fancy lightsabers with the thingy that makes it spin.
It was when he was a psychopath and he started opening Jawas.
Yeah. You know, I would have taken a Biggs Darklighter storyline in this more than anything that we got.
Bad.
Like
I would have taken anything.
I'm not hard to please, man. I just want you not to step on toes, and all you did was step on toes. I laughed so hard after the Obi-Wan Vader fight. When Obi-Wan, now fully connected to the Force because of emotion, realizes Luke is in danger. The moment that little escape pod hit hyperdrive, I lost it.
Yeah.
I lost it. That's the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard.
But not only that.
And then he shows up on time. He shows up on time to save the day.
Yeah.
To save both twins. And I'm like, this is dumb.
He flew across the galaxy in the time it took her to chase Luke from the house to the mountain canyon range. He flew from another galaxy, got into the atmosphere, landed the ship, and then got out.
Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up because I forgot that. The whole time I was like, what is going on here?
I saw that and I was like, you gotta be shitting me. You have to be shitting me.
Oh my God,
you just had this amazing fight scene, which I want to give so much credit to, but it's hard because all the other fight scenes have been so cosmically bad. You just had this good fight scene. Finally, you had this ray of hope where I'm like, I don't hate this show for 5 minutes. And then you do this, like immediately after. It turns right around and says, nah, fuck you. I'm going against the grain. I'm going to do everything. And I just hated it. I just hated it. I was so frustrated with every decision.
But see, even the end of the fight scene, they turned Vader into a Bond villain. He has Obi-Wan underground, and instead of using his exceptional force ability to force the rocks down to make sure he's crushed, he just turns around and walks away.
He doesn't try and sense if he's alive or not.
And Obi-Wan's using hella force under there to hold the rocks up. It should be giving off...
He should definitely be able to sense that he's alive. Also, I love that Obi-Wan, like, he bashes his respirator in with the butt of his lightsaber. And I'm just like, Vade's baby, darling, light of my life. Did you not use force to stop blows? Like a lot in this fight?
Did you not use the force to stop a fucking ship from flying away?
I just, you can't stop gut punches?
Yeah.
It's Obi-Wan Kenobi Bruce Lee?
Yeah.
Like, I don't...
It's so stupid.
I don't
it's so stupid.
get this. And like,
you'll get a brain aneurysm if you try to think about it too hard.
My favorite thing is that they have that shot of Obi-Wan holding Anakin's old lightsaber, like this was the one that he brought, and I'm just like, you never reference this once in the show, and honestly, if you didn't know any better, you wouldn't know.
Yeah. And you
never bring it up. You never...
John Wayne was rolling around in his grave, because John Wayne, in all of his... If you watch his Westerns, the thing he does is he never turns his back on the bad guy. Mm-hmm. Obi-Wan takes the lightsaber, turns his back, and starts walking away. Vader could have went and used the Force to crush him, but he just sits there pathetically.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't do anything.
No, like
it's like there's 10 feet of fire in between us. Yeah, I just can't do anything.
I can't do anything. Small fire bad. No, small fire good. Small fire good. Big fire bad. No, that whole thing was just like when the fight finally ended. I was just like, so you didn't know how to end this, did you?
No.
You had this cool thing where his mask is cracked open, and I will give you credit. You have both Hayden Christensen and the pseudo James Earl Jones voice doing certain lines. I thought that was nicely done. I thought there were some good touches there. But man, when he just starts crawling after Obi-Wan, like, I can still fight. I can't fight. I can still fight.
That reminded me of the Black Knight from Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
It's just a flesh wound.
I'll bite your ankles on. That's what I thought about. And then the fact that he was dressed like the Black Knight too made it even funnier.
I'm just sitting here like, you can lift ships, but you can't lift yourself. And then he gets scolded by the Emperor. The Emperor is like, you got a new girl? You got somebody you care about even more than me? Do you still care about your old master? And Vader's like, no, I don't care. And apparently, for the next 8 years, he doesn't care. And just like that, it's over.
I wish they would have, instead of getting the actual Emperor and that actor, they would have got the voice from Robot Chicken and had him just flick off Vader. Because that's where it kind of sounded like. It's like, oh, you're a little baby. You can't catch one, little girl.
Oh, Lord Vader is his emotion, I sense. Oh.
All right, we got to finish this. That was terrible.
We got to call it.
Don't watch Obi-Wan.
Oh my
if you're
God.
a fan of anything, don't watch this.
If you have any warm, fuzzy feelings at all about the Holy Trilogy, do not watch Obi-Wan. Don't do it. Don't do it. Because any good that you find will be trashed by a mountain of bad.